Hello class, are you ready to start Module 2? Outstanding, let's begin. Module 2 is about adolescent diversity and socioeconomic status and ethnicity. And click on, if you haven't already done so, click here on this Module 3 overview and the Chapter 3 presentation, and you've already done that to get you to this point, and very good, you are well on your way. Please do put your name here. It helps me a lot in evaluating your work, keeping everything straight as I'm grading through. Thank you, I appreciate your help there. Section 1 of Chapter 3, it's going to be the same presentation video. I'm going to talk about Chapter 3 in just a little bit, but if you click here, it also will be a link to the notes that I'm using for today's class too. If you go now to Section 2, there is a short video about English language learners and their experience in our schools. The video is actually pretty short, about 6-8 minutes, so it's still, I think, good information to process as we look at ethnicity as a factor and socioeconomic status as a factor of adolescent development. And then once you've done that, I would like you to reflect on these guiding questions. Look through these questions, form your responses based on your personal experience, based on the content that you've read in Chapter 3, my presentation, the video presentation, and give your response to these guiding questions in 6 to 8 sentences right here in this beige box. Of course, you don't need to answer all those questions, don't feel like you have to, but I do want to get a sense of what you are thinking based on what we have covered so far in this chapter. Okay, and that's Section 3. Section 4 is our first journal assignment. Listed below are 5 pairs of statements, and they are statements related to an aspect of human development. And what I would like you to do is choose 3 of these 5 statements. And you'll notice that each of these statements has a different perspective. Let's take a look at statement number 2. Most biological disorders, physiological disorders have a biological basis. Or B, most physiological disorders are a result of environmental causes. So really what we're taking a look at is we're saying, are the problems that people have, are the psychological problems that people have, is that more based on nature or is that more based on nurture? So pick one of those positions and take it. Again, you only need to choose 3 of these 5 statements, and of those 3, you pick either side and you talk about those sides. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to take that side, defend it from your own experience, the experience of others that you've been in direct contact with or that you observed directly, i.e. colleagues, friends, family members. And then, of course, I would like you to have at least one supporting piece of evidence from the literature. You can do a Google search on that. You can use this textbook on that. But I would like for each one of your statements to support that with text from a published resource. So that is your goal, and your response should be about 400 words or about 2 pages. And if you would post your journal assignment number 1 on Blackboard, Discussions Journal Assignment number 1. Let's take a quick look at that. Blackboard Journal Assignments number 1. So go to Blackboard and go to your 333 course, and then go right over here to discussions, because it's on discussion board, and you'll see here Journal 1 dealing with Module 3, and it's due July 16, as is all of Module 3. Put your response here related to the 3 questions. Your response should be about 400 words. So just drop it right in there. I will grade it from there, and you'll be all set. Okay, let's go back to Module 3. That's section number 4. One more section left and then you're all done. Section 5, begin your research project. I know that you've already selected your topic, but let's get started with as we look at this, select your potential topic. And I've given you a link here. Talks about everything from socioeconomic challenges like poverty, challenges as it relates to bullying, anything that's related to adolescent psychology is going to be fair game for you, any topic. And this is just a list of potential topics for you to consider. Okay, your blend space lesson should take a classmate about 20 minutes to complete. The lesson includes 10 or more slides, and it should also include a quiz. Make it like a 5-question quiz, and you can make it true or false, multiple choice, anything you want to. And you need a works cited page at the end of the presentation. Blend space presentation is available, so let's take a look at that sample blend space presentation, and that's right here under assignment details. So if you go over to assignment details, you'll see blend space research project. Click on that. Blend space assignment, that's just a repeat of what we have covered and what your syllabus has covered. And here is the sample, so when you click on that, it takes you right to this blend space lesson. And I say blend space, that's the old name for it. TESTeach bought out blend space in, I think it's just been the last few months. So take a look at this, and I think it's going to be something that you may even want to have your students do. My topic is gaming addiction, a psychological disorder. And you can see that I've got, how many slides here? I've got 18 minus 3, so that's 15 slides. 3 blank slides. I need to move those out, but it doesn't show up when you do those slides. So just press play, and this is a sample of what it looks like. And you can even open in web articles, you can open in videos, you can open in all kinds of things. Here's quizzes that you sign in to take. And then it's more of the material. And this is very easy because all I did was I went to Google, and there is a great place to have Google put this information in for you. So this is blend space, and I'll also put in some supporting documents to help you do blend space if you've never done blend space before. Okay, so that's your blend space presentation of your topic. And there's more information here that will help you with that. It's an easy download. There it is. There it is. And you can see the rubric that's here as well as the instructions that are something of a repeat. So all of this information will help you with your blend space. I'm happy to help you as well. It's something that's fun. It's something that I've done in my 300 course, so you may have some experience with this. I'm not sure if Trixie DeRosa, if you had her as a teacher, if she did blend space, but we did talk about it. So you should have some experience with this, this piece of software, this online resource. And if you don't, please let me know, and I'll be happy to send you some additional information about it. Blend space. It's a nice thing to work with, and it's a thing that I have my students work with as well. That's it. That's the show. Once you've got your blend space lesson, and it's due July 18, you are completed. Please take and save this file to Blackboard Assignments Module 3, and I will evaluate it there, and it is due July 16. So I look forward to grading your work there. Okay, that is Module 3. Let's move on with the lesson of Chapter 3, textbook presentation. I've got some notes hiding here someplace, or at least I did. Did I close them? It's just like me to close them. Oh, there they are. Okay, good. There they are. Let's talk a little bit about the diversity in adolescence. Chapter 3, page 53 in your textbook. One of the things that I would like us to realize is that in 2008, there were 28,500 ESL students, ESOL, students that are English language learners. And that is up over 800%, 827% increase from 10 years ago. And that was from 2008. And it's continued to increase over the past 7-8 years, even from that point. So we're dealing with a tremendous change in education over the past 8-10 years that we are seeing more and more ESOL students, English language learner students, coming in. So diversity continues to be a bigger and bigger impact into our classroom. How do we address this? Well, first of all, take a look at the graphic on page 54 of your textbook. The racial and ethnic makeup of the United States. In 2008, white, non-Latino was 65%. By 2050, they're predicting that white non-Latino will be down to 50%, and Latinos will be going from 14 to 24%. Already in 2012, the number of Caucasian births used to be the highest, but in 2012, the Latino births became the highest in the United States. 2012, the change happened that there were more Latino childbirths than there were Caucasians, more Latino births than any other nationality in the United States. 2012. So interesting changes in our demographics. Okay, with the continuation of influx of our students, we also have to consider the socioeconomic status. And what I would like us to do is to take a look as we go in, because poverty is an issue with all our students. I'm saying that wrong. Poverty is an issue across the board, whether that's Caucasian or minorities, and often poverty is associated with minorities because they don't have the advantages, but that's not always the case. Poverty is something that doesn't always follow the ethnic rules. Take a look at the graphic. You can see that Native Americans, blacks, a lot, and then Latinos, Asian Americans, white. So we do have a different ratios there of poverty and which nationalities are have a bigger challenge with poverty, but that means we as teachers need to be more sensitive to our students and to be aware to help out where we can. I remember my first experience dealing with poverty. I had a student down in Georgia where I first started teaching, and the students, I kept them after school to help catch them up in their science, and the student has actually made really good progress, and I took this student home after school because, and this is a high school student, a high school male, took him home because he didn't have another ride, and he said, "Would you mind talking to my grandmother?" And he said to tell her the progress that I'm making. Well, we drove out pretty far, but it was just little more than just a shed. It was just a pitiful home, and there was no gravel in the driveway, and you just walked up to the house. There was no sidewalk, really no grass. It was just kind of Georgia red clay. And he just walked in, and inside the house, it was just Georgia red clay as well on the floor. It was a dirt floor. She had some lamps in there. There was no electricity, not sure if they had running water. You know, and I was thinking, is food an issue? Does he have enough food? Does Grandma have enough food? So I talked with Grandma a little bit, talked with and told her about the progress that her grandson was making, and saw if she she was okay, and she said, don't worry, don't worry. So she was a wonderful person to talk with, but poverty is very real for some students. Is food security something? Yes, it is. It is something to be concerned about. Educational attainment is also a factor. Family instability is often a factor when we're looking at students in higher poverty. Higher divorce rates, higher teen pregnancy rates, homelessness. When I was working still at that same job there in Georgia, I had a freshman girl come up to me and said, Mr. Bradley, I won't be able to finish your class. She says, I just wanted you to know that I did like your class, but I won't be able to finish it because I've got, I'm pregnant. And I said, I hope that you can come back after you've had your baby and you can finish up the course. And I'm happy to say that over the past, my career, 20 years, there have been a lot of improvements in how we help teen mothers with childcare and help them receive their diplomas. So I'm very happy about that. All right, issues in healthcare is also very important. Access to mental health care. There is a lot of stress that deals with that. When students deal with poverty, there is stress because there just aren't the resources to move out and get what we would normally consider as things, i.e. healthcare, i.e. enough nutritious food, i.e. enough opportunities for development, for education. Example, third graders from middle income families have about 12,000 words that they can recognize, that they can use. Third graders from low-income families, a third that much, only 4,000 words. So it's really profound how poverty affects just what we would think of. Okay, we've got some third grade students here, and what are they going to be, 8, 9 years old? Already there's 3 times less vocabulary that the students with facing poverty have. So it's really a serious thing. You can look at this graphic. You can see where children of poverty start lower. There's this gap here. But we don't have to just leave the children there. We as teachers have a responsibility to continue to help these students. And one of the ways that we can do that is by looking at, first of all, the students. There are students in poverty that are very resilient, and they just need a chance. And that's where we as teachers can step in and we can be helpful. They may have a genetic endowment, they may have a gift, they may have something that we can help them with, that develop, be that in an academic area or in a manual skill, something that will get them a job and get them out of that cycle of poverty. We can help them set high goals, we can help them to be inspired and just be supportive, because as a student gets an adult who is supportive of their environment, of who they are so much more likely to succeed. Moving on, family characteristics. If they're supportive parents, just because they're not in a high socioeconomic status doesn't mean the parents won't be supportive. And you can work with the parent, work with the student, and you can do some really amazing things to help that student. Also, be aware of the community resources available for these students, because the community can be helpful as well. Okay, be aware of cultural differences, because culture isn't a bad thing. Cultural differences are a good thing, and that diversity is wonderful to bring into your classroom. Take a look at the educational attainment, and that chart is on your textbook, and it's on page, yes, there we are, page 62. If you take a look at the white high school versus black high school, there is a tremendous change in difference in there. You know, it's almost double. And that difference goes on into college. Take a look at the unemployment rates. I'm sorry, the number of average full-time wages by race and Hispanic. It's there on page 63. So the education directly correlates to the wages. So there is a lot of disparity there as well. The ancestral homelands I thought was somewhat interesting. You can take a look at that there on page 4. The Hispanic Americans, and you can look at that for the Asians right into here. But I would take your attention back to page 65. Take a look at the difference between the number of high school graduates. High school graduates, 91%, and this was in 2008 for whites, and almost the same for the Asians, just a little bit less for blacks. But you know, when we drop down one more to the Latinos, that's quite a bit of difference between the non-Hispanic whites and the Latinos. You know, that's 62% versus 91. So that's excuse me, quite a bit of difference. Take a look at college. 32% of Latinos have at least some college, whereas nearly 60% have some college in the whites. When we look at that, that's nearly double. So that's something to be concerned about. And PhDs or higher is nearly triple. So there's quite a bit of difference there in the educational achievement. So what does this mean for us? Well, as teachers, we still have this tremendous influx, these changes over the past 15 or so years, that we have a much more diverse culture. And that's not a bad thing. But what it does mean is that we as teachers need to recognize this diversity, and we need to address this diversity. We need to also address poverty, because we want each one of our students to succeed. And that is important. So take a look through. There's a lot of good things in chapter 3. I know I've just hit the highlights, but that's okay. There's a lot of good things in here about education, a lot of good things about poverty, a lot of good things about the different diversities that we will be facing in our grades 6 to 12 classrooms, and I think this will be a valuable use of your time. Okay, well that's it. That covers all of Module 3. I'm looking forward to your creativity. I'm looking forward to your reflections. I'm looking forward to your work. And if you have any questions, please give me a call, 864-503-5570, or an email, gbradley@uscupstate.edu. Thank you so much. Have a great day.